Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Gents. I don't know if you've noticed this over the past decade plus, but we are living in the time of fragrance lines / never-ending fragrance flankers. Maybe back in the day, flankers were not very common at all, and you would have these fragrances that were all standing alone doing their own thing underneath a brand. But no, it's not like that anymore. Nah, we gotta get them flankers going nowadays. And with all of those flankers coming out, you have these massive lines of fragrances that have almost their own entire entity, their own style, their own family of fragrances with all these flankers put together. And so I asked you guys a little while ago on the community tab of the YouTube channel, what in your opinion is the best line of men's fragrances ever? We're talking from the beginning all the way through to current day. What is the best? Because especially if you're just getting into fragrances, it can be kind of hard to separate like which line is truly better than the other, you know? They're just so many and new stuff coming out all the time. And you guys answered, and I have for you today the 10 best lines of men's fragrances ever. So if you don't like this list, you got yourself to blame. Don't look at me, I'm just the messenger. I'll have these linked in the description below. One fragrance from each line, not each entire line, that would be insane. We'd be dealing with like over 100 fragrances at that point, but I'll have the lines linked below each line. And if you would like some codes to save yourself some money at a bunch of different websites, when you shop at these websites, use these codes, save yourself some money. We got Max Aroma, we got Twisted Lily, we got Lucky Scent, So Avant Garde, Triple Traders, Beauty of the Shop. All right, let's get into it. The first 8 lines that I'm gonna give you are the ones that had the most votes, and I'll let you know which one had the absolute most. It was a real surprise to me, actually. Got your comments right here. I can't memorize all these comments. First up, we have Kevin 073, who says, there are so many possibilities, but I'll go with the Lamal line. That one got a lot of votes. It was not the winner, but it got a lot. The OG is iconic, and the line has a few that can be considered modern classics. They have numerous options for different seasons and occasions. Most importantly, their recent releases are some of their best. I agree. So the line isn't just hanging on to the past. Everything you said, completely valid. Actually, for me, of all of the Lamal fragrances being sold right now that you can readily find, because they have an insane number of flankers, a bunch of those are discontinued and very difficult to find, but of all the fragrances in the line that you can still easily find, the original might be my least favorite. Yes, it kicked off the line in a huge way. Yes, it's a modern classic. Yes, you could even say a modern masterpiece. And it was the signature scent for so many people, a big compliment puller for so long. But for me, personally, like I would rather wear Lamal Le Parfum for sure. That one is awesome. The new Elixir is fantastic. Like you said, the recent release is some of the best. I would rather wear In the Navy. I'd rather wear On Board. I mean, just on down the list. Sorry, OG. You know, a little powdery lavender vanilla. Never hurt nobody, but just not my thing anymore. The line though, yes, easily I would say one of the top 10 biggest, best men's fragrance lines of all time. I think that's a fantastic choice, yeah, gotta go with it. Then we got one from Middle-Aged Man in Retail. Love the name. Another vote for Acqua di Gio, he says. This is Acqua di Gio Profondo, but the Acqua di Gio line. He says, anyway, another vote for Acqua di Gio is the best line ever. It's been going so long, and no matter the twists and changes in each flanker, they are all instantly recognizable as Acqua di Gio. I know Sauvage has had a massive impact and huge sales, but personally, I prefer the Dior Homme line from that house. It's kind of going off on a tangent. You and I can relate there, right? Honorable mentions to the Gentleman line, which I love, and also Lamal, which I don't like, but millions do. So his vote was for the Acqua di Gio line, which also got a ton of votes, but that was not the most upvoted of all the comments that had different nominations for different lines. I would have thought it probably would have been, if I were a betting man, I would have probably bet Acqua di Gio be the #1. Of course, the best-selling men's fragrance of all time is the original Acqua di Gio. When you've got something as likable, as wearable as that, you know, just a fresh, summery scent, you know it's gonna reach a lot of people, especially when it's done on that level and with that marketing budget. And I do love the Acqua di Gio flankers for the most part. Profondo, I really enjoy. The new Parfum is very good as well. So Acqua di Gio, had to see that coming. Then we have Lil Wirt, who says, The Dior Homme line. Undeniably, he says. From the original Homme, the 2020 remake, Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme Parfum, they're all masterpieces. And if I wanted, we could also add Dior Homme Sport and Dior Homme Cologne, and it's still the best line. Which Dior Homme Sport? Which Dior Homme Cologne, though? So one thing Dior loves to do with Dior Homme is they're like, hey, release Dior Homme Sport. And they go, we already got that, man. We've had that for a while. Release it again. Just change the bottle slightly and tweak the fragrance. New Dior Homme Sport. Of course, the change to Dior Homme with Dior Homme 2020 was much larger. But yeah, Dior has a propensity to do that. Change it, leave the name, change the bottle very slightly, and present it as something new. I do love the Dior Homme line though, so no arguments from me. If I were making my own personal top 10 of like my favorite lines of fragrances, the Dior Homme line would be in the top 10 comfortably. I'd say top 5 comfortably. Past that, it starts to get rough and I'd have to like really hash it out. But yeah, Dior Homme is fantastic. I love pretty much all of them, even the discontinued bad boys like Dior Homme O. They're all very good. That was not the winner though. We'll do the winner after the next one. After that, we got Jared Steele 6229 who says the Gentleman line from Givenchy. From the Eau de Toilette, Cologne, Eau de Parfum Boisé, and Reserve Privé. The only miss for me was Society. And it's not that bad, just not one of my favorites. Poor Society, very sad. I do like Society, for what it's worth. It did, of course, strip away most of that iris that the line has grown to be known for. Kind of like something else. Yep. Looking at you, Dior Homme 2020, stripping away the iris. What's with you guys? But the Gentleman line is one of those scents that does have like a very ardent following and fan base, I guess we'll call it. I like the line of fragrances a lot, and I'm kind of right there with you. I feel like pretty much all of them are hits. That's one thing that most of these lines have in common, is that when you go down the list, even the bad flankers are not actually bad. They're just not as good as maybe some of the ones that came before them. And I think this line absolutely nails it. For a lot of people, the Eau de Toilette, this one is the worst in the line, but I think in terms of just compliment factor and versatility for your average Joe, your average person, the Eau de Toilette might actually be the best one. And even with this being the worst to a lot of people, like I said just now, it's not bad at all. There are so many other things out there way worse. Really solid line. And another one I agree with. I'm actually like right there with you guys here. All right, so this next one is the line that got the most votes, had the most upvoted comment. I would have never expected this to be the #1 vote getting line, especially when you're looking at this stuff over here. And it's nothing against this line, some absolutely killer fragrances in it, but for my money, I would take each one of these lines over it. Fresh K313 is the one that left the comment, and it is, I'd say, the Prada Luna Rossa line checks basically every box for your average Joe very well. It's full of compliment getters, and I also enjoy that clean feeling they provide. So this, as of this video, the #1 vote getting line, according to you guys, as the best fragrance line ever. Like, you sure about that? Now, I love Luna Rossa, like, don't get me wrong, guys. I really like the line. It's up against some dogs, you know? So the original Luna Rossa, it's nice. I enjoy it. Bitter orange in there gives you a different kind of citrus twist as compared to the more typical grapefruit, bergamot, lime, mandarin kind of deal, and that's good. It's real nice. It's got a lavender in there, clean, as you said, a clean feeling, and classy as well. Then you have Luna Rossa Extreme, discontinued, but that one was very good. For me, one of my favorites. Luna Rossa Sport, it's okay. It's not bad, it's not great. Again, just for me. O Sport kind of sucks. That one, I think, easily is the worst in the Luna Rossa line. Then you've got Luna Rossa Black, awesome. Luna Rossa Carbon, similar to Sauvage, super wearable, big compliment puller. Then you have Luna Rossa Ocean, both EDT and EDP. Very solid blue fragrances. They have that Prada vibe to them, and it's a very solid line of scents, for sure. But I think for me, it would be under at least half of the ones in this list. But again, it sounds like I'm dumping on Luna Rossa. I'm not. I think it deserves a spot in the top 10. Just don't know that I would put it all the way at #1 personally. But I'm glad you love it. And Luna Rossa Black, that's one of my favorite designer releases, period, for fall and winter time. Carbon is a great alternative to Sauvage. It's got year-round usability, and both Oceans I enjoy a lot. And this one kind of has grown into like a love of mine over the years as a slightly more low-key, classy type scent. All right, next up we got 913021X. Yeah, that's the screen name. Stronger With You line is top notch. From the original to absolutely, there is one for every season and reason. All hits, no misses. Well, maybe one, LOL. So which one is the miss? He said, well, maybe one miss, so which is it? Everyone needs to guess what they think the miss is, since it was not revealed. I'm gonna guess only. Stronger With You only. Maybe Stronger With You Freeze. I don't know. For me, I like Freeze a little bit more. I think it's got more of an interesting opening. I like that it gives you that icy kind of fresh blast, but still has that gourmand edge off the top, and then dries down to be more like what you would expect from Stronger With You. I dig that. But by and large, yeah, Stronger With You is a really solid line. Pretty much each one of them, you know it's gonna be something good. Unfortunately, some of the best ones, like Absolutely, and then, you know, Oud, Leather, Amber, they're a little bit harder to find sometimes, a little bit pricier, but it's a really nice line, especially for fall and winter time. Really great stuff. Then we got a submission from 180 Reverse 6697, who says the Allura line by Chanel. All seasons, all situations. Covered. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. We only have 3 left. And I have to tell you guys that after the next one, that's pretty much all of the top vote getters. All of these had double-digit votes. All of these got a good amount of votes, a whole bunch of comments, each one of these. But after the next one, it was pretty much just a wasteland. Like comments sporadically here or there, none of them upvoted all that much. So in your mind, try to think of some lines that have not been covered yet that you think absolutely would be in the top 10 and see if they are. And if they're not, don't take it out on me, man. So the Allure Homme line, all seasons, all situations? Yeah, all of them do have a little bit of a depth to them, a body, a creaminess, kind of a sweetness. So even like Allure Homme Sport, in the middle of summer, if it's really hot, maybe you would go for something else if you want to go with something that's like just super fresh. But yeah, I think you can really use this line for about anything. They do have great mass appeal. They've got that versatility and even some unique scents as well, like a Edition Blanche, that one, really dig that. Kind of a lemon meringue pie vibe going on with it. And even the original Allure Homme still works great today. Then we have the shortest, most simple comment from Paolo Paoli 601. Sorry if I messed that up. Who just says, Lomity, y'all. So that was the last one that really got a good amount of upvotes. Lomity, y'all. It is a good line though. I like how they alternated from warm weather scent to cool weather scent to warm weather scent to cool weather scent year over year as their flankers went on. I was worried that the line was gonna be killed off because there was a gap there where we got no Lomity anything, but then Platine Privé came out, which smells a bit similar to Lomity Cologne, which they discontinued in the past, so yeah, discontinue that. Actually, bring it back, but change it a little bit, but do bring it back. That's good business. The line is really awesome though. This is Lomity Extreme. It is perfect for fall and winter time, day or evening, date nights. I love the mix of notes in here. It has plum, giving you a different kind of sweetness, a little bit darker. You get that tobacco in there, the almond, just a great line of fragrances, and I agree with that one. Then we've got one from Moko Min, who says, I think I'll take a different direction from most people here, but Davidoff Cool Water line is just amazing. Not a single miss. Again, are you sure? You positive about that one? Because they've got a lot of flankers in the Cool Water line that have come out over the years. And I will say for the price point that you could pick most of those up for at one point, because some of the discontinued ones are more expensive now, but for most of those, picking them up around, you know, $25 or something, then you go, okay, fine, you know, we'll roll with this. But I don't know that I would say each one is a hit. But I'm glad you love Cool Water that much. You do say though, not a single miss, except for maybe the red bottle one, but no one talks about that. It's like Bruno. Nobody talks about the red water one. The red bottle one, which is not cool water though. That's not cool water, that's hot water. Not warm water, which maybe should have been the name because cool water is not cold water. Why is it hot water? It should be warm water. But yeah, nobody talks about that one, right? No red bottle. But I don't know that that really counts necessarily. That was kind of its own thing. But from the Eau de Toilette, the Intense, which is my favorite, and the Parfum, if you also include the flankers, I think most of them work very well too. So it seems like you're concentrating more on like the Eau de Toilette, the Intense, the Parfum, and those are the ones that have gotten more talk. They're the ones that people have gotten more excited about. So that makes sense. And those ones for the price point, yeah, I think those are really solid. The Parfum, a good alternative to Sauvage. You can pick it up for a good price nowadays as well. Intense packs quite a punch and does its own thing also. And Cool Water is just a classic. This is an absolute classic. So I got no problems, no qualms with you showing a little love to our good friend Cool Water, which also smells kind of like Green Irish Tweed, which I like. Last but not least, and then we'll go over some ones that were not here, Raphael 090995, who says, I'll say the Armani Code line. For sure, none of them is a bad release. Not a single code is not good. It's all good. Code is a really solid line though. Yeah. Profumo, Absolute Gold. Even some of the newer ones like A-List were actually not that bad. The Parfum is nice. The Eau de Parfum is nice. Even going back, Armani Code Ultimate, I liked a lot. Some of the other ones, some of the earlier flankers were a little bit more hit or miss, but especially here recently, most of them have been well enjoyed. Even Code Colonia, which I wasn't impressed by a huge amount when it first came out, as time went on, I grew to really appreciate it. So Armani Code. Now, here are some of the lines that were left out, and this is just kind of off the top of my head. We have Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue, not here. Also The One, not here. Terre d'Hermes, not included. Actually, no Hermes. No Y, no Bleu de Chanel, no Sauvage, no Spice Bomb, no Valentino Uomo, which I guess you could have stretched that all the way to including the Born in Roma fragrances, but no Uomo. No Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme or La Nuit de L'Homme, so neither of those, and there's a bunch of flankers there. Also no Paco here, no Invictus, no 1 Million, no Herrera Bad Boy, just a lot of different lines that were not included. Just didn't get too many votes. I saw some of those sporadically interspersed throughout the comments, but they were never upvoted by more than like 1 or 2 people, so they didn't work their way up toward the top like these 8 here, and then these were like right past that kind of that fall off. So there we go. These are, according to you, the best men's fragrance lines ever. From start to finish, from each one of these lines, you think they deserve to be kind of on the fragrance line and Mount Rushmore that for some reason has way more than 4 on it. So there we go, guys. Again, let me know which ones you think should have been on here that were not. Thank you for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I will see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.